I should be in Nice right now, celebrating my birthday because this week was my birthday week. Um, my partner had booked a weekend away because I was working this week. My birthday was on Autumn Statement Day. We did a follow along of that announcement, and obviously she works in school, so the weekend was supposed to be celebratory, if you will. But I'm here. I'm making this video on a Saturday. So clearly we're not in Nice, and I wanted to share what's happened over the past, I guess, 12 hours, because it's a little relevant to what we talk about here on the channel. I've got to make a decision, a financial decision off the back of this. So we were going to leave for the airport last night. We left about 10:30 last night to get down to Luton. I live in Shropshire, and on the way to the airport, coming off the M54 onto the M6 just before junction 10, we were probably about half a mile down the road from the exit to get onto the M6 from the M54, and there was traffic. So I'm coming to a slow to meet the traffic, and out of nowhere we were rear-ended by an X3 BMW, and thankfully everyone's okay. My neck hurts a little bit. I'm in a little bit discomfort right now. My missus has got a bump to her head, but generally speaking, we're okay. It was quite sudden, if I'm honest, and it's panic because I don't know if you've ever been in that kind of situation. Everything's calm and peaceful because you're in control of the situation, and all of a sudden you have this huge force jolt you from behind, and it's a shock to the system, that it's a shock to the car, and yeah, it's all very, very intense. But yeah, thankfully I'm okay. Neck hurts, she's got a bump to her head. I check on her to make sure that she's okay. She's in the passenger seat, and she's okay. She's holding her head a little bit. I get out the car just to see what's gone on, and I saw an X3. We were in the middle lane at this point. I saw an X3 on, literally, they'd hit my car and verged into the hard shoulder. And I thought it was that car that caused the entire thing. So I went over to that car, and my initial reaction was anger, but then I saw it's a car full of people and there were kids in the car. And I looked at the car and I thought, it just didn't compute, because the damage to that car didn't compute the amount of force that I felt. I've then looked back into the motorway, and in the middle lane, just beside us, behind us, there was a BMW 3 Series, a 2007 plate, and the entire front end was just gone. I mean, I'll put some images up here, and I don't know what speed he was doing. He said he was doing 45. He must have been doing 60 at least for him to have that much damage to his car. The X3 had all the airbags go off. I think his car had the airbags go off. Mine didn't. And one thing I will say is, I've had my car for a long time, and that thing protected us last night. It really, really did. People often give Tesla a lot of slack, but that thing really protected us last night. And so we called for the police, we called for the ambulance. The ambulance service arrived first. They were fantastic. And obviously there were kids in the other car, so they tended to them first. And I had a bit of a check-up, and he said they believe it's fairly muscular, but to monitor over the next 2-3 days. Gave me some paracetamols, woke up this morning feeling really, really stiff. I feel a little bit of pain in my lower back right now. But yeah, they were wonderful. They were really, really good. People complain about our services here. Trust me, we have really, really good services here. The police later on arrive. They take insurance details. They do checks and all the stuff that they do. Luckily, my car is in a good enough state for me to drive back. We decided, look, we're not going to proceed to the airport. We're just going to come back home and not go over to Nice. The reason why I'm making this video is because you follow me for financial content. If you've followed some of my videos of late, especially my budgeting video where I talk about how much I pay myself for my limited company, one thing that you will notice in that video is that I have zero debt. I don't pay for my car. I don't have any personal loans. I don't have any overdrafts. I don't have any credit card debt. I'm debt free apart from obviously my mortgage. With what happened last night, that's going to change. The reality is, the last time, I feel like I've had a bit of bad luck over the past 12 to 18 months because I've had 3 people drive into me in the last 24 months. 3 people on 3 different occasions. This has been the most, I guess, traumatic. And the last time this happened, someone reversed into the front bumper. They wrote the car off, and I made videos here on the channel saying how I fought for the car not to be written off. With the damage to the car last night, is going to be written off. And so, where I haven't made any car payments because I've owned the car outright for the past three-ish years, that is going to change. So I'm now looking at, I need to get into a new car. I'm probably not going to get a lot of money for the car in its state right now. I mean, I've had this car for 8-9 years. It's just done just over 179,000 miles. It's served me extremely well. But now I need to find a new car. And that means either throwing a chunk of cash into one, which I'm reluctant to do, or financing in some way, shape, or form. I haven't yet decided what that looks like. I'm looking at a few options. I'm thinking I'm going to stick with a Tesla purely because I do a lot of commuting. I like Tesla. I like the technology in the car. My car is pre-autopilot. It's pre all of the updated sensors that they have, and you've probably seen pictures, videos of Teslas being able to tell, reading the environment, what's coming. And I can't help but think, if I had one of the newer models, that maybe the car would have taken evasive action to avoid being rear-ended in that way, because they're quite clever that way with all the sensors around them. So I'm probably going to go with another Tesla. I'm leaning more towards a Model Y. The fact of the matter is, I've got a Model S right now, and the Model S, it's a little above what I would pay for a car right now, objectively. And so the Model Y seems like the middle ground to go. And so it means taking on debt. I'm going to have to put some money into it for a deposit, but it means taking on some debt and having repayments, which is ultimately going to restructure my finances. So the question is, do I do this via my personal finances, or do I do it via my business? I'm leaning towards my business. And I'll keep you updated once the decision is made. But judging by the last time, I know the car's going to be written off, so I have no other choice really but to source a new car. But really, just to end this off, I just want to kind of just remind everyone to remember the things that really matter. We do talk about money on the channel. We talk about creating wealth and all this stuff. And I feel like across social media, a lot of content is very, very money heavy, money driven. But we miss the important things. I'm very, 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 very thankful that car didn't rear-end us without the middle car in the middle in place, because if it had, at the speed that he was going, I don't know that I would be sat here right now with minor niggles. I think the injuries would be way more significant. And again, I'll put up a picture of his car. It's pretty scary. So don't lose sight of what's important: health, family, your loved ones. It's money at the end of the day. It's just money. You can earn more money. I can earn more money. I can replace that car. I never would have been able to replace what could have happened if myself or my partner were seriously injured last night. So I want to end on that note. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy birthday, eh? Cheers.